Welcome back to another episode. I Respect Your Opinion podcast. I'm quite your host. I'm here with a few of my good friends.
AJ, Dre,
D Wade.
It's a somber time right now in society, and you know what's going on. I know you all been watching the news. Anybody want to take it first?
I mean, we all know what's going on. Everybody rioting, breaking into stores, burning police cars. It's a lot going on right now. A lot of people are fed up right now. So I don't know. Like, what you think, D?
Let it out, man. Let it out.
You know what I mean? But it's hard me trying to figure out where I want to start from. But we would start with George. You know, George Floyd. R.I.P. to George Floyd. It was definitely an unfortunate situation that happened in Minneapolis. I'm with the protests. I'm all for the protests. When you protest, it's peaceful protest. You have the right to have a peaceful protest without being, I guess, like impeded on by the police or whatnot.
Bully. That's what
Bully.
Bullies. A lot of adjectives.
Us getting to the riot part, I'm not with the riots at all. And I say that because I think at this juncture, with the riots going on in Minneapolis and all across the U.S. right now, I think a lot of it isn't attributed to the actual act of kind of honoring George or what we were actually fighting for. And that's where I think shit is getting lost at. And when you're talking about breaking into businesses, we were talking about this before we started the show. In particular, we was talking about like black-owned businesses, and I don't even think it's just the black-owned businesses. I think it's just businesses overall. And me and Dre being business owners, and I'm just speaking to myself personally as a business owner, the shit that you work for your business, and to see somebody come and kind of just take that away, and look at it in my perspective is not behind. We're fighting for something. It's because we're just being fucking destructive. That's how I'm viewing the situation right now. I think it's a lot of destruction than it is any type of order that's going on or a cause. I think people are out here being rebel without causes right now, and that's where it doesn't sit right with me. And I'm gonna let y'all speak on it. I got a lot of shit to say on it, but from that, what do y'all?
It's a whole lot to say. And it's not just like when you say, like, you know, people just taking it away, but then in some instances, it's your own people.
Yeah.
It's like, dang, like, I do this, you know what I'm saying, to you know, I give back to, a lot of people give back to the community that they got black businesses. And then you got your people that's in these communities that just coming to your stores and just raping you from everything that you worked hard for. And I think that's unfortunate. I also feel like America is lucky that blacks, African Americans, we want equality more than we want revenge. Because if we really wanted revenge, we wouldn't be rioting, we'd be shooting back at cops. Mm-hmm. And you know, I feel like some people is at the point now where, you know, it is some people that want to shoot back. You know, so I mean, I'm all for the peaceful protests. I'm not all too much for the rioting. It's just messy, man. It's messy.
I will say the rioting, it ain't coming from nowhere. Like I know I get your point of view, D Wade, but people are really fed up with what's going on out here. Like, this not the first, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth time this happened.
Mm-hmm.
This been happening since we was born, since before we was born. Like, and
since before our parents were born.
Yeah, so people are fed up. So it's like, yeah, you're gonna have your people that's going out there just doing nothing to be destructive, but they wouldn't be doing that if this didn't happen. Like, that wasn't happening before we saw a video of a cop kneeling on another unarmed black man's neck, killing him on camera. Like, that was blatant to me. Like, that was, and we shouldn't be even like desensitized to even seeing shit like that.
Sure.
Like that shit ain't cool. Like people just see it and people share the video, but it really ain't cool. So I mean,
in a lot of ways, a lot of people they make it seem like it's like black versus white, and I'm telling people it's not. It's really black versus blue. It's black versus officers. Period. It ain't about a white officer or a black officer because there's a lot of black officers too that harass black people.
And I understand that, but I don't want to make it a whole black and blue situation either. And I had a comment earlier. I put it on my IG where I was talking about. I had reposted something. It were two black men like shielding an officer who got separated from his unit and shit. And somebody was in my comments telling me, was like, damn, they should just let him get fucked up. And I'm just like, why would you, like, why? So that was my question to them, like, why would you let them get fucked up? And it was, they don't give a shit about us. And I'm like, but you say they as a whole. You see, the problem with that is, and I always fucking hated this part of it. We always can go back and look at how people view us. Specifically white people. Specifically white people view a lot of white people view us, not all of them. If one black person do something, then it's just like, damn, it's all these motherfuckers. You know what I'm saying? Right. I don't want to look at cops like that because they are individuals. It's the same thing. They're individual cops. You got some bad ones, you got some good ones. We know a cop. Our man that we've been cool with for more than 15 years is a cop. So that to see somebody say that was like, yo, they should have let him get fucked up. I'm thinking like, yo, that's my man right there. Right. My man, who's been a cop, for like almost 2 years now that I've been a friend with for more than half of my life, was the best man at his wedding. Right. His wife is one of my best friends, and he got 3 kids. It's just like we should let them get fucked up because he's a cop, right? Yeah. And not saying like he's an individual. So I'm not against prosecuting one person, but everybody's not bad. And I think what's really fucked up when we talk about these riots right now is there's no authority with that. So you got the cops right now that's kind of scared to respond to what's going on because what happened with Floyd. But then you got other people who know that and then just pressing them to the limit. Now, when you press somebody to the limit, let me just go back to this real quick. So we think like the cops crossed the line somewhere, right? Yeah. What happens when we know they crossed the line? That's fine too. What happens when we cross the line? It's no fucking line. It's like now we're all just running fucking wild because there's no authority there. Right. If we don't respect authority, then who are we going to turn to? Like, so who's going to stop some of this shit?
Like a leader or
I don't even think it's a leader or organizer, but I always felt like you have to respect some type of authority. When you don't have any type of authority, and it's easy for me to even think about like with sports when I related to that. Like, your coach is your authority. If you don't respect your coach, you do whatever the fuck you want on the field. And that's not going to work when you're trying to do something as a unit. You know what I'm saying? So it's the same thing I feel like when you're looking at the cops too. It's just like you have to respect some type of authority. And at this point, especially with our younger generation who really never respected them anyway, had their own type of feelings, they're just using this as a reason to do what the fuck they want to do.
Yeah, I don't think they should, like, random cops should be like you said, one of our best friends is a cop, so of course we gonna feel different. But like, if a cop is antagonizing a person, that's different. Like, I'm seeing cops at the protest just spraying mace on random people. Like, that's being real peaceful. And another thing you said, it's not every cop. Yeah, it's not every cop, but a lot of black males have had way more negative interaction with police than positive.
Right.
Like, that's a fact. Like, that's not. There's nothing else to say about that. So when they see police, they don't see somebody they can, trust. They see it's fair. Right. Like, it's fair. A lot of people, like, when you get a cop behind you, you could be legal as ever, but being black, you worried about getting pulled over. How many of us, when you get a cop behind you, like, you might do something different?
Turn your music down.
Then like the nigga can hear you.
I have no reason to bother me.
That's what I'm saying. White people don't really gotta go through that unless they like drawing, speeding, doing. I get pulled over. You get pulled over for nothing sometimes. Like, and and they lie to you and say, "Oh, your tail light was out." Like, it just be bullshit, bro. People is fed up. So obviously, like, I don't think random cops should be getting fucked up, but at the end of the day, like, them cops is out here, like, doing bullshit, affecting the black community, like, torturing people, like, no, if y'all meet with force, peace don't get a good result. So what do you want the people to do? People are fed up.
And you say you with the riot, and like you don't.
I'm not saying I'm with the riot. I'm not out there rioting. I'm here recording with y'all. You know what I'm saying?
Right, but
what I'm saying is I understand people frustration. I don't agree with, like you say, them small businesses getting hit and shit people work hard for, but Target, they're gonna get that shit right back. Like, all them big stores, they gonna get that shit back. Like, what? So what? Like, I ain't gonna say, like, just it don't matter, but that shit is gonna come back. George Floyd cannot come back, bro. Like, he can't come back.
Yeah, I understand that, but what are so somebody else I was talking to, one of my friends, she was telling me that she lives in Atlanta, and she was telling me it's deeper than, you know, George Floyd. And just to go off of what you were saying, it goes back generations to generations to generations, and that's cool. I understand that part. My whole point is, I don't think, I said to her, I was like, if I take 10 people from Atlanta or wherever we're going, and I ask them, why are you out here rioting? I don't think they're going to come up with an answer, oh, because I'm hurting inside. You know what I'm saying? Like that. I don't think that's what it is. I see people out here, you going to a retail store, and to be more specific to Philly, for everybody that you know follow us and know, like, Center City is in Philadelphia. King of Prussia is in the county. They literally were waiting and plotting to hit King of Prussia up. You know what I'm saying? Like, that shit didn't have nothing to do with what's going on. And to that point, I'm just like, those people, they not hurting. She was telling me, you know, like, there's an economic hurt, there's economic disparity, you know, when it comes like the public housing and people not getting what you know they need as far as like poverty and whatnot. And I understand all of that, but I'm talking about the people who don't have a fucking cause. Like, you just being a menace at this point. You know what I'm saying? Like, watching that King of Prussia joint, I'm like, there's drones of people waiting.
So you ain't have like not one urge to go up there?
No, I ain't had no urge. I'll tell you. I mean, if somebody came on there and was like, "Y'all got something for sale," I mean, if it's something useful.
But are you gonna buy something? So if somebody approach you with something that they got from the, you know, hitting the link from the loop and all that, you gonna buy it?
I mean, I'll look at that as just as another sell.
No,
but
it's not just another sell. Like you my brain gets
benefit. You know, benefit.
We're gonna benefit off of that.
No, I understand what you're saying.
How can you knock it and as soon they sell it to you? Oh,
and
half price. I'm a cop. Like,
no. I only said it as a joke, but like on a real realistic type of time, then it's just like no, because that's not what that wasn't my first thought. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm like, shit's gonna get bad. When I saw this shit going on in Minnesota, the first thing I thought of, I said, God damn, I hope this shit don't happen in Philly. Because I already know, we know how the young people are in Philly. You know what I'm saying? So
we take it to the extreme.
To the extreme. And all I've been saying throughout this whole situation, I was just like, I just think, well, for the last few days anyway that has been going on, I'm like, I just think people were just waiting for an opportunity to be like, this is why I'm doing it. You know what I'm saying?
It's more of an opportunist
I feel
thing.
In LA, they was stealing Benzes from the Benz dealership.
Yeah.
Like, we're part of, like,
it's like,
you know what I'm saying? You know, like,
I get what you're saying, but a lot of people don't do this. None of this start if we don't see this video. Like, if this don't happen, a lot of this we don't see it. Like, it's a chain reaction of people being fed up. I'm not condoning it, but you gotta understand, this shit keeps happening.
That's why I think it was.
It
like,
just
I think it was like the
happening.
last straw. I think it was like the last straw. Last time I can remember. Last time I can remember something, you know, this big and rioting and things like that. Was you know, Rodney King, and like, what was that, 92, 93? That's the last time I remember things being this
something that's this big.
Yeah, this climate being, you know, the temperature of just the nation is just high right now, and both sides, it's like it's no. Right now, it don't seem like there's no end in sight. Like, I want to speak to what you said as far as like leadership. There's really no leadership either way. It's like, what's the resolution? Like, okay, so we breaking in all these businesses, and then what's next?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So now everything is fucked up, and you know what I'm saying? Now what? You know what I'm saying? It was disappointing, like you guys were saying, to see people being opportunists. You know what I'm saying? That's why why all of you spoke. That's basically the whole tone I was getting from all of y'all. Was basically everybody was being opportunists. They couldn't wait for a reason or an excuse or justification on why they were going to go and, you know what I mean, be and do some nonsense. You know what I'm saying? And it was disappointing to see videos on Twitter of people coming out in Louis Vuitton in the mall, breaking Macy's.
Oh, they hit the rolling store.
It was crazy. It was
They hit the rolling store with the rolling on.
it's disappointing, man. And like another thing I wanted to touch on that you said was basically everybody's not one, or you know, one person, bad apples and things like that. That's kind of like what I got from what you were saying. It was, if that's the case, I feel like we have to the same expectations we want for ourselves. We don't want, because some protesters are being bad, that all protests aren't, you know what I mean, valid, or we want the same things. We also have to understand that that video that you're talking about, we have to always still, you know what I mean, give people the benefit of the doubt that is individual people. You know what I mean? Individual cases, everybody's not the same. And everybody's not doing the same thing. If one person comes and does that, it's not wrong.
All right, I want to say something. I just want to like switch the focus, like, because it seems like we focus on the riot, and let's focus on what actually happened.
Okay.
Definitely,
like, I seen it first. I seen it because like I follow Steven Jackson. He posted a video. He was crying. He was like, "This is what he got to wake up to," and he posted like what happened or whatever. So I saw the video and I'm just watching it. I'm just like, yo, he said 1,000,000 times, "I can't breathe. Please let me up." His nose was bleeding. Everybody out there is just like, you know, basically telling the cop, "Let up," and the cop just sitting there with his knee on his neck. The other cop telling the other people, "Get up, get back before he fucks them up."
Mm-hmm.
Like, and just the other day, I seen another camera, and it was actually 3 cops kneeling on him. It wasn't only 1 cop kneeling on him.
that's what I was gonna say. Yeah. I saw the other perspective across the street.
Like that's just like
They had him apprehended.
Subduing the suspect or whatever. Like, first of all, the crime wasn't violent. It's a forged check. It's scamming basically. Like, you don't. Why are you meeting this with such force? Like,
it's not a violent crime.
Yeah,
basically.
like, and then it's like,
I think they're afraid. You know
they
what I'm
are
saying?
afraid, but that's why.
Afraid.
But that goes back to Deontay's point of why he's saying all cops not bad. A lot of them cops, they don't even interact with black people ever. So
Right.
all they know is what they had their mind made up about black people.
And what they see.
So when they
on
interact
TV,
with them, they already, he's gonna be aggressive. He's gonna be real standoffish.
Yeah.
Like, they don't even know you.
That reminds me of this video that we retweeted on the IRYO pod page, the Twitter page. It was by Jimmy Kimmel, and it was basically at the end of the video. I encourage you all to go check it out. But at the end of the video, it's a black man, you know, just telling that facts about himself. He said, "I like Chinese food. I like this kind of music. I like this kind of sports. You know what I mean? Just little things about himself that was just like probably the average Joe, normal American. I like cheeseburgers." And then he'd be like, before you call the cops, I think it was prefaced by, "Before you call the cops, these are things about me, just so you get a better understanding of who I am and not to be afraid of me just because of my skin color."
Mm-hmm.
Right. And so I encourage everyone to check that out. It was a very powerful video. And
the thing is, like, we all walk on the same ground. We all breathe the same air. It's like, why do cops treat us different from another race?
I think we all know the answer to it. And I mean, it's just, we see it over and over again. It's always been this way since, you know, before the 30s, before, since the beginning
I
of
know
time,
it's
before
been
we
this way
became
forever.
in contact.
But why? You know what I'm saying?
We know the answer. We know the answer.
Are they scared? Is it because they scared of us?
It's because of how we look. It's a superiority complex that they have that they want to. I'm not gonna say they. People have. You know what I mean? Some people sometimes, different races have different things that they think they're better than other races at, predispositions and things like that, and just the history between Caucasians and black people is just it's a 400 years plus,
right?
And just generation after generation, systemic, you know what I mean, oppression and racism from that. I don't think it's ever going to change. I don't see end in sight because I feel like this will be 30 years in the future and we'll be still talking about the same things. Just like Dr. King and Malcolm X and all of our leaders in the past was dealing with the same thing. Marching, these is just basically, oh shit, the same thing over and over again. You know what I'm saying?
They just ride another block.
Right. I mean, yeah, but it's,
did y'all see? Did y'all see? I think the alleged like police officer, cop that like started the riot. That was some shit too.
Yeah, that was.
They said he was dressed like differently, but he had the boots on still.
Yeah, so I don't know if he like started it or he just contributed to it, but that's also.
No, I saw. You ain't see the. Did you see the video?
I mean, I saw the video, but I didn't know if it was before the rioting started.
He told the black boy, it was, I think he had dreads or whatever.
No, this was in Minneapolis.
Oh, he had dreads or whatever. He was walking, the black boy was smoking a L. So he told the black boy, back up before I fuck you up. He said, oh, you gonna fuck me up? Somebody hold my blunt. And passed him the blunt and shit and followed me the whole way.
I didn't know that's why he was following him.
Somebody hold my blunt. And then he was following the whole way up, but he was definitely a cop. Like, it wasn't like, he wasn't out there like you said, standing for a cause. That was like somebody.
But you know, and see, when it come to shit like that, then it just start make you thinking about all the other shit. You know what I mean? It's like it'll take your mind left. Like, did they want this to happen so they could give them a reason now to fuck with us again? And it's a lot that go into it. But it just at the end of the day, and how I try to explain it to who was commenting on my comment about the two black men protecting the police officer. At the end of the day, we are human. If we can't be human beings and have compassion for others, then I think we just as bad as the cops. And I don't mean in the sense of killing somebody. I mean in the sense of not being able to differentiate one person to the next. Like, you're individual, and not group us all as a whole. If I do something like, then that I should be punished for my own actions. My whole race shouldn't be punished for that. My family shouldn't be punished for that. Like, I knew what the fuck I was doing. You know what I'm saying? And that's what I think of being a human being is. And I think that's where, a lot of police officers, that's what they lack. They lack being an actual human being at some point.
They just think they got authority over you just because they got a badge on.
Right. You know what I'm saying? And then it doesn't help when you got Trump quoting shit like, when the looting starts, the shooting starts and shit like that. Like, there actually been, the leaders, and I commend the governor of Minnesota, I think it is. Yeah, the governor of Minnesota.
And Atlanta too.
At least the mayor of Atlanta. She's sure. Something Bottom. I can't. Keisha Bottom. And I cannot remember the governor name of Minnesota, but he apologized when he had CNN. CNN was arrested. Y'all remember that, right?
Yeah, I got it.
We didn't get to that, right?
Right. So CNN was arrested. The reporter, cameraman, producer, all of them was yoked up, and they were eventually let go. And it was put through from a call from the governor. The governor was on a press conference that same day, later on in that day, and was mentioning that he apologized to everybody at CNN. This shit never happened. But at the same time, it wasn't the governor's fault, in my opinion. You know what I'm saying? I think it's the police officer's fault. Yeah. That's a reporter. They were live on television saying they were reporters. So they had the right to be there. Now, they kept saying, if you needed to move somewhere, we'll move somewhere. They never told them that. And later on, the police came out on Twitter and said that later they found out that they were media, and that's why they let them go. And that
video wasn't all over.
It's like the video wasn't.
People don't have
you right. So and that just adds to it to the people that just like, fucking policing. You know what I'm saying? But I commend him for being in front of that. I commend him for telling the president like, yo, you making shit worse, basically, by saying things like that. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like, and if we need help, then we'll reach out and help. Thankful for that. But
the president was blasting him on Twitter, saying that it was bad leadership by him, releasing tweets like 4 in the morning. Yeah, he's quick to throw somebody under the bus. Yeah. You know what I mean? And it's something that anybody, if he was governor, if he was mayor, if he was there, he wouldn't have did any better. You know what I'm saying? He always act like condemning people like as if he would be better at a job. He can't even do the top job.
Yeah.
I feel like it should be 4 people arrested right now.
That shit
It was
was
the
more.
4 officers. Like, all right, everybody happy because the one officer got arrested. Don't mean he got convicted, but he got arrested.
And let's say his name,
No.
Derek Shaw Shaven.
Let's not. I don't
Say his name, man. He needs some notoriety to know who he was. You know what I'm saying? There's no hiding from it.
Well, I feel that.
I know how I feel that. I feel that.
Officers should be
I get what you
Let
said.
me-
also.
arrested as well. And that 3rd degree is BS too.
You might want to just turn that off, like you know.
No, that's an alert. It's an
Ain't nothing we can do
Amber
about it.
No.
That's how crazy it is right now.
Crazy.
Something happened.
And Amber alerts and all that. Why am I trying to?
Well, you
That's coming.
Yeah,
That's
they just
coming.
gave us a citywide curfew.
I ain't gonna try
They say emergency alert, citywide curfew, 6 p.m. to 6
6
a.m.
p.m. curfew.
I'm
It-
essential. though. I gotta go to work.
But you know what? That's another thing,
This
though.
is
That's shut up.
All right.
So that's another thing. That's another part of the riot part, though. Yo, the people that's going to be affected after that. I saw an older lady who was crying on air while she was getting interviewed because they fucked up the stores that she go to. Now she probably is a woman that doesn't drive, you know what I mean, doesn't get around much and shit. But the local stores that she usually goes to, now they then ransacked those places, then burned them down, and it's just like you don't think about that in the moment of what's going on. You know what I'm saying?
I didn't
People
think
don't
about it
care,
till you brought
yo.
it up.
That's what I'm saying. So the riot part, and it's like these burning the buildings. Like, yeah, I hear you. Like, people are taking their aggressions out a certain way. You can't tell anybody how to deal with what their aggression is, but at the same time, what if somebody's aggression is to kill someone? You get what I'm saying? It's just like you can't do that, but you could point that aggression in some other positive way. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I mean, I get it.
I want-
I understand. I don't. What?
Let me say something, but you know, about these riots. Some of it is antagonists that weren't even black. So, like the narrative, I feel like that's out there is that we're destroying our own businesses and we're destroying our own communities. And a lot of
we
times
definitely
people
are, though,
using
but-
that as I'm gonna say some white folks because there's been a lot of. You know what I mean? Sightings of white folks coming in and antagonists in tactical gear coming through our communities and breaking glass and breaking things. And the narrative is that the protesters that's peaceful.
yeah.
They're being painted as this is like we were saying blanket statements as they're all bad apples, and it's not even us. It's obviously it's never all or you know what I mean ever in anything. There have been some bad apples. There are some black people that's doing some of this, but there are some white people coming in and destroying our communities, and it's looking like as
Right.
if it's us.
If it's just us,
You know what I'm saying?
nobody
And
really
it's-
speaking on
right.
them. It's us.
Absolutely.
But that's the way it's always been. It's always been us.
Right.
I'm saying it's never them. It's always been us. Whenever
That's just-
something happened in this country, it's always been black people.
But I just.
But being as though the people that shoot up schools and shoot up kids and things like that, they're all white. You don't know no black people that went in and shot schools up and killed teachers and kids and stuff. They all white. Shoot up movie theaters.
But they
white.
get
You know what I'm saying?
apprehended though.
They get apprehended.
They
You
get
know what I'm
apprehended.
saying? We getting killed
Come here,
over
bro.
a forest check.
That shit is corny.
Like I saw
It don't
something
make
that
sense.
Jill Scott posted something. You check that out. She posted the guy was struggling with police. They didn't even have their guns drawn. You know what I'm saying? He's struggling with police. They fighting with him, punching him and stuff like that. He punching back. They don't have a gun. You know what I mean?
I think I
Drawn
saw
or
that video
anything.
Before too.
And then he got away, takes their car, drives off. Nothing. He gets away. You know what I'm saying? There's no way he would have made it out the
No way
seat.
a black man can do that.
Right. There's
and
no
Jill
way a
Scott-
black man would have got it out
Jill
the
Scott
got it out the
also
seat.
posted that they have bricks and stones and stuff piled
Please, yeah.
up at certain places already.
Now,
Then you had something to say.
I do have
Now I
something.
don't know if it's there around construction
I have
sites
something to
or
say.
what.
So the one video in particular that was something I checked or whatnot. The girl was saying was like three weeks ago she was down there. No, it was 3 months ago. She said she was down. Like 3 months ago, the bricks weren't there, and now the bricks are. That's a big ass gap. I don't know what the fuck.
Yeah,
I don't know what
Like,
the
3 hours.
Yeah,
But
that's
2 hours.
now again, like I said in the chat, now if you tell me it was like 3 days ago I was down there when the shit was kind of
Yeah,
like
that'd be
start
different.
getting
That'd be
it was different. So I mean I don't like to get into the conspiracy part. I like to get into shit that makes sense to me.
Facts.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Facts.
You gotta
Facts
watch
and
the
shit that makes
videos,
sense to
right.
me.
You gotta watch the videos that you were taking around this time because a lot of old
Propaganda.
videos circulate.
Yeah.
And like you
Yeah,
said,
and that was
propaganda.
just put 'em
'Cause
out
I've been
now.
seeing a bunch of like police brutality videos this week, and I'm just like, where's all this shit coming from?
But and it's not dated or nothing like
Yeah,
that. You know what I'm
it's
saying?
But they'll say it was yesterday.
feed
Right.
They'll be like, yeah, this happened yesterday.
But you know what? And that's the thing. So us, you know what I'm saying, and us and shit, you know what I mean, in our group chat and some of my other homies, we can decipher from that. If we could take a step back and be like, yo, let's think about this shit for a second, you know what I mean? Everybody not thinking like that. Everybody like, oh shit, like this happened all this week. You know what I'm saying? Like George Floyd happened 3 days ago, and within, you know what I'm saying?
You mean I'm not Aubrey, and then you talking about?
Right. No, I'm just saying, like, even right. Even like
the fact that we even got 2 black males to talk about within a month.
Right.
That shit right there shows you like people fed up
in a specific way.
I just don't feel like
I don't know. We gotta stay tuned to June because May turned out to be mayhem right now.
Murder May.
Whoa,
May. But I just don't like the fact a lot of people are acting up, they doing shit they're not supposed to do. But this ain't the time to just condemn our people. Like, it's a bigger cause right now. Like, it's a bigger force that we trying to fight against. Like,
right.
That's police brutality, bro. Like, I feel like all of us have been in an inappropriate interaction with a cop. I mean, me personally, I've been in a couple. I can't speak for y'all, but I know Coke has been with me for one. I know Dre been with me for one.
Yeah.
Like, we all working men. We not in the streets, none of that shit. Like, we all go to work. So
you can imagine
we got the same interactions that the cop got with the street niggas.
Like, she had the same right as white people.
That's what I'm saying. Like,
the thing is we want equality. That's it. We want equality. If we have equality, none of this would be going on. It shouldn't have took you 4 or 5 days to arrest this cop that did this. That should have been handled after the video surfaced. You get fired, you get arrested.
But they protect them. You seen a video that all these cops protect them?
Yeah, they protect them.
After he got fired, you're not even a cop no more.
After he got fired, he's not an officer no more. They 125 cops lined up outside his house to stop people from approaching his home.
I'm not against that though, because they already know that that's next. Like, a blind man can tell you that there's gonna be a protest out this man's house. They're gonna find out where he lives.
So instead of making,
you still have to protect them. But
once the video surface, you get terminated from your job.
That don't mean that he shouldn't have protection. You already know where they're going next.
No, but you should have been arrested.
Absolutely. I'm just talking about. I'm just talking about the surrounding of the house.
From the precinct, you shouldn't even went home.
So y'all couldn't have taken him somewhere else.
You get arrested.
Like, they could have taken him somewhere else to protect them. Y'all made sure that video was be able to be recorded. Like, y'all wanted to make a statement with that for real.
My thing is this: if you work at a department store, and if you steal, you're not gonna get sent home and then arrested. They're gonna come to your job right then and there, and they're gonna put you in cuffs. Right,
I definitely think he should have been arrested from.
So why wait 4 days for something that's on video?
Well,
do they wait 4 days for something on video? If somebody's still in the store? No, they don't. They're gonna arrest you right then and there. They come and get you.
But I mean, like, unofficially, I think we all know there's some type of
process.
Not process, but it's like a officer code. You know what I'm saying?
Well, ain't the officer code. Let's just say what it is. The officer follow the no stitching code better than the streets do.
Well, I mean, that's
they protect each other.
They protect each other.
They do.
How many cases you seen people in the streets telling on each other? Like when you seen a cop tell on another cop?
Right. So I mean, but that's the point I'm trying to make. So what I'm saying is, here's where I'm kind of, I guess, on the fence with some of the rioting and stuff, because it's leaving a lot of cops out there, and I keep going back to that IG post, that cop that got separated, and now you got civilians trying to protect the police officer. You know what I'm saying? If that doesn't make a cop think like, this dude that I don't even fucking know,
right, because
of what he did, now my life is in danger. Like, nobody is respecting my badge. Then I don't know what can make a cop think in the future, like, I gotta stand up for what the fuck is right, because now you're putting me in danger. You know what I'm saying? Like, so in that regard, I still don't agree with the writing, but it's always something that's gonna come from something. You know what I mean? I've never seen.
Something will come from this.
I personally, I think I still don't believe in the vandalizing and everything, but I could understand. I understand them burning down the precinct that the cop was from.
I'm all for that. That's the hard shit.
I understand that shit.
I love that one.
Run into another precinct and holding cops like hostage in the precinct.
Right.
I I ain't really with that either.
I'm not with it.
I'm not with it, but I
somebody want to do it.
But like, I'm gonna take it a step further. I think, fucking compared to running in Target, why don't you run to the justice system in your immediate area, the courts that's been serving you this injustice, and you go down there and you fucking
fuck they shit
up. You know,
courthouse up.
But you know what I mean?
Courthouse, blow the courthouse up.
And again.
That's where a lot of the protests have been too.
But I get that protesting. I'm talking about the rioting. Y'all fucking up stores and shit like that. Go
like
fuck.
He's saying fuck up 13th and Filbert.
That's what
he's saying.
I'm not telling anybody to do that. But what I'm saying is, it would make, you know. I'm not telling anybody to do that.
You can't be laughing, yo.
But
we gotta find a way to lighten the mood up. Though.
You always gonna have to find a way to lighten. But again, I'm not telling anybody to do that. But I'm saying like that would make more sense to me.
Right.
That's all I'm saying.
Right. So when you say when the civilian protected the police officer because he got away from the rest of his crew,
yeah,
and he lived in fear. As a black man, we live in fear every day when we walk out our house.
Right.
Every single day.
They don't care about that. A lot of police officers don't care about that at all. So you really gotta think like, in that perspective, he really gotta think like, hey, this is how I feel now to be isolated on your own, and you walking out your house and you like, damn, am I gonna make it back home to my family? As a black man, you think about that every day. Floyd never thought about that when he walked out his house.
He never would have thought that was going to happen.
He never would have thought this was going to happen.
He knew he was going to use the check, but
he was going to have a knee to your neck, a knee to your body, a knee to your legs for 10 minutes, whereas though you get killed.
Yeah, suffocated, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not fair.
How y'all
it's
feel
not
about
fair.
the report that they work together?
Oh, the nightclub, they
Yeah,
had overlapping.
They worked together for over 17
overlapping. They would see each other.
years or
They
something
would
like
see each
that.
other in passing because they obviously worked. They said they worked separate shifts, but they was like relieving each other. So is there something under that it would maybe personal?
I mean, possibly, but it's also. I mean, that was one surprising, but I think it would have been even more heartbreaking to hear him like call his name. Like call him by his name because he knows him and shit like that, and to find that out afterwards, and it's just like,
hold on. He said his name.
No, that's what I'm saying. I think it would have been more heartbreaking I know that's exactly.
I heard Mama. I was about to say.
So when this happened, I'm starting to think like that. What have they been through before this?
Right.
Like, of course they encountered each other before this, but what kind of tension was it before this? Whereas though.
I don't want to.
He knew what he was doing when he was.
That's speculation. Man. We can't see too.
Let me say this though. Let me say this. And this may be unpopular. I don't think he's gonna go down for murder.
Me neither.
I'm like looking at the autopsy.
I mean,
I'm serious.
Can I pause you for 1 second, bro? You think shit getting fucked up right now? Let that boy get off and not be.
And I understand that, but
no, listen, no. I don't think you do understand because then you can't come. I respect your opinion.
He still has to. They still gotta prove it.
Let me say this though, bro. I respect it. No, you don't. This shit is on camera. Everybody that can see this with 2 eyes.
Did you see the autopsy?
Fuck the autopsy. I saw the video.
You can't say. But that's what I'm saying. You can't say the autopsy, especially when you got an attorney, and if you don't think he's gonna find a way to get a top-notch attorney from somebody from the outside.
Somebody gonna.
You know what I'm saying?
Somebody gonna catch you if I get this.
Because of the autopsy.
Cool though, but if this nigga don't get convicted for murder, you gonna see shit that you never thought you would.
And I understand that.
I think that's what's happening. That's what's gonna happen because I'm with you, Wade. I'm absolutely with you. I do think that they.
Listen, the autopsy.
I would not be surprised in the least. You would be surprised if
no, I wouldn't be surprised. But I'm just saying. But George, I feel you on that. That was a different state. It was a different law. I get you. I can see if he get found not guilty. I understand that. But if you think shit fucked up now,
just get ready.
Everything's getting fucked up, bro.
Yeah, I mean,
the people that stay inside is coming outside.
I understand that. I understand that. They can't. You can't. They're not just going to throw the jury. But let All right. So let me go back to this then. So we're all upset in George Floyd. From what appears, he passed away because the officer had his knee on his neck, right?
Yeah.
Officers.
No, officer had his knee on his neck. We're restraining him. I get that, but the officer had his knee on his neck.
Right.
The autopsy says that he didn't die from that. There wasn't a restraint around his neck. There was no like strangulation around his neck that caused him to pass. There were underlining illnesses that he had. Yeah, there was underlying health issues. But it contributed. But what I'm saying is the whole thing is that part didn't kill him.
In the corner. Let me shoot, bro.
Go ahead.
Listen,
Open in the corner.
You said underlying health conditions, right?
Right.
Didn't we just go through this with the corona? All right, so if I had underlying health conditions and then I catch the corona and die from it, what are they classifying it as? Me dying from the corona, right?
Now, I'm going to tell you what you're wrong with that.
No. What are they classifying that shit as? Me dying from... If I got underlying health conditions and I get that and the corona speeds up my process of dying, they going to say I died from the corona.
No,
so if he had underlying health conditions and the nigga kneeling on his neck sped up his process of dying, that's the motherfucking reason he died.
No, I'm going to tell you what you're wrong with that. That's the issue with a lot of the doctors right now. A lot of doctors are saying that they're telling us to classify it as coronavirus death when that's not the case. They may have had it, but that may not have been the cause of death. And you're not supposed to write on the death certificate the cause of it was coronavirus if they just had it. You don't know that yet.
You're not supposed to, but how many people have they classified?
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. Hey, like
right,
you
how
can't.
How come it's different when it comes to a black man's life? How come y'all want to get it right now? Well, how come y'all want to get it right now? Like, we seen this shit on camera, bro. He killed him on camera, bro. Like, that's... No,
what we saw on camera, he should never handle him like that. That's what we saw on camera.
Like, come on,
but there's obviously no way that he would have knew that. He no one would have ever knew that he had underlying health conditions, and that shit do not matter.
What I'm saying is...
9 minutes... Anyway,
what I'm saying is, it's probably another charge that's going to go along with it. I don't think it's going to be the third degree, though. That's what I'm saying, because it wasn't a direct cause of his death. Is what I'm saying. He didn't die on the spot. He didn't die there.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
He was passed out. At the spot.
Right. He passed out.
That is obvious the reason why.
First of all, so if I get shot, third degree and I go to the hospital
and you got blood clots or something like that,
and I die over there. I didn't die because I got shot. I got died because of my blood clots. Right. No, I got died because I got shot. That caused me to go to the hospital.
And if you die from the blood clots,
caused me to go to the hospital. Right. You gotta.
This is liable,
Like, I'm not trying to hear that shit.
I'm gonna say right now. That's why I'm saying it's gonna be a rumble. It's gonna be a rumble.
Because people want to
say that.
Video or not is that autopsy means a lot. Like, that's a win for him. That's a win from him. He up 1-0 right now.
That's the only thing I saw when that autopsy came out. I'm like,
he up.
He's white.
Yeah,
so
he's 2-0. White and the autopsy.
White privilege. It's just. I mean, it's no dodging around it. You know,
my thing is the 10 minutes. Like, come on, dog. Like,
it's true.
It was 10 minutes.
So the only one other thing that I really got to say about this is the just going back to the whole riot thing, and I'm already against it, but I think at some point I think cops are really just letting you go. We saw a video also where this black lady, she was just letting off on one of the a white officer. He let her, the cop let her get 2 off on it, and then he clocked her. And it was
black cop, the other cop,
the black cop let her get 2 off on a white officer.
And she went.
You know what I'm saying? But
I don't think he would have did that if she didn't get too clean.
But what I think is it leads into my example. You can only push but so much, and the cops can only resist but so much. Right now, they are restraining because of the situation. We all know that. They're doing rubber bullets and beanbags right now. But
paint.
It don't matter. We could talk about just us as grown men. At some point, you know what I mean? You get pushed too much, you're going to get pushed back. Somebody fucking smack you, you're going to be like, that nigga might be like, well, why you smack me? And just be like, I told you to stop. You know what I'm saying? Like, at some point, you going to push back. So, I don't know where that tipping point is, and I don't want them to find out. But I think the riots and what's going on right now, I mean, I think we're reaching that point. And it's like, it can't continue to go like this. Tonight, I couldn't find anywhere to go get a freaking greeting card because it closed at 4 o'clock because we're on lockdown right now, or we're on a curfew at 6.
What you need it there for, though?
That's not important.
But it kind of is because it kind of is though because
it's not important.
It kind of is though, bro. Because you could have got it before this. You knew you needed the greeting card. You could have got it before this, bro.
How is that relevant to what the hell I'm talking about right
what
now?
What you mean?
Listen, let me ask you a question. Let me ask you a question. What about the black cops though? That's like people's partners, and when they catch when they have their partners doing, they witness injustice and excessive force, and they know their partner doing. What about the lack of speaking up? What you think about that?
I think some of that is power hungry too. It just depends. Again, as another individual thing. You know what I mean? Like some people put on that badge, and it's just like. Fucking shield of authority. Like,
what do you think? What do you think that like people? So say I'm out here doing crazy shit, but you know what I mean. You work with me every day, and you have a difference of opinion. Are you like black officers? Are they afraid to say anything, or or like I heard one of you guys say it's like a brotherhood and fraternity, and they take up for each other so hard that even they'll allow they'll look the blind and things like that.
They definitely stick up for each other, but some cops, I mean, it's some cops that don't forget where they came from. Some cops know what we've been through. And some cops actually been through that before they became cops. Some black cops actually probably went through these things. So, they probably do. I mean, I feel like they do.
Am I asking y'all the question? I mean, clearly.
Well, are you? Because are you getting the answer that you want?
Because I think I don't think I'm getting the answer that I'm asking. Are black cops are they afraid to speak up against injustice and things, and they might witness their partner doing something or somebody else?
Some of them are.
I think they are. Now, why? Now, is that now? That's why I said. Is that because of the fraternity and the take up for each other and?
It's for why? I think it's for the fraternity, but also you gotta go home at night, and
to be the one singled out that's calling.
Like you can't be
that's blowing the whistle.
You can't be the one that allowed this stuff, and then go home and talk different. Like you know what I'm saying? Like if a black person is partnered with a white officer, let's say, and the white officer is out doing, let's say with his name, Devin,
whatever, Derek Shavers.
What Derek did, and I sat there and watched him do it. I can't go home and talk like, and
sleep. You feel some way.
It wasn't justice. I just didn't say nothing about it. No, you should have did something right then and there. You have to do something right then and there. Stop him. Y'all could have 4 cops. Y'all could have easily just got him up and put him in a cop car.
Right. I don't know why.
That's the problem with a lot of these instances. Is something
like why stay on them for so long?
There don't be any black cops involved.
That's intent right there.
That video is for white.
It's for white cops, and they sat there and watched and participated in it.
Exactly.
Instead of, all right, we got him.
I don't see how anybody could have
seen that. If a cop would have been like, yo, it's cool, we got him, let's go. None of this would be going on right now.
And then they also digging a deeper ditch for themselves because this is like more video, more of a chance for some nonsense.
And also the deeper ditch was for them to take 4 days to even arrest this person. So you took 4 days to arrest 1 out of 4 cops. That just made everybody else more angry. That just built more anger in everybody to go out here and do the riots that they're doing. Art Museum was a peaceful protest. After that, it was a riot. And it's still going on right now as we speak.
Which I was mentioning to y'all, I think a lot of people, a lot of it is getting mixed in with the protesting. And I think there are 2 different groups. Don't get it fucked up. I think it's probably a little bit of a spillover. But for the most part, I think the peaceful protesters are the peaceful protesters. The motherfuckers rioting or most opportunists and a rebel without a cause. That's what I think. You know what I'm saying?
Breaking this store, don't get arrested.
Yeah.
But then you out in the field. You out in the field. How can you differentiate the 2?
I don't know. None of us are out in the
you
field.
can. I don't think you can. But that's what I keep saying, man. And well, just what I was saying is as far as you're going to get to the point where it's like we can't get pushed anymore though as police officers. Because at the end of the day, you gotta think they had to protect themselves too. You know what I'm saying? Like I've seen officers at this point try to apprehend, and I think this is one the one I'm thinking about in particular is in LA. I think they were trying to apprehend somebody out there, and everybody else was like whooping his ass. You know what I'm saying? Like it was a whole free for all, and then somebody came in and they actually pulled him off of who they were trying to apprehend. And the citizen himself is talking to the officer like, "You gotta get out of here." You know what I'm saying? Like. And I'm looking from, the visual that we had, it was like a sky cam. And he like literally by himself in this group of people trying to get this one person. And everybody else is trying to whoop his ass. So
even like
I don't know, man. That's a scary
situation.
situation.
It's going on for like a full day and a half now with this rioting.
No, this is like day 5 today.
No, I'm talking the protest rioting here in Philly.
Okay.
And I'm actually surprised that the cops is still holding back so much now. Like
exactly.
Eventually, the tear gas, the smoke bombs, and everything everything you need on Call of Duty is going to start coming out sooner or later. Because like D said, it's only so much that they're going to take. Yeah. They're all for the peaceful protests, but when you start
throwing stuff and antagonizing,
when you start putting their life in danger now, then eventually they want to retaliate. Right. But in that sense, this is us retaliating. And when our lives is on the line, do they really give a fuck about us?
Well, one more thing too, man. What I also saw, somebody that I went to elementary school. Shout out to Antoinette. I was looking at one of her stories, and she was one of these peaceful protesters down there, and it was a young man who threw like a water bottle in a crowd or whatever in a protest. He just threw a water bottle. I guess he was throwing it probably at some officers, and she actually went over to him and talked to him and was just like, why are you doing this? Like explaining to him like this ain't the way to go. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to those people because they kind of you need them people. Those people. You need those people to kind of do exactly what she did. Pull somebody aside and make them understand like
this ain't it.
Protesting is a peaceful thing. It ain't a violent effort. When you turn violent, that's when we start treading over to a riot. You know what I'm saying? That's what incites a riot. You get what I'm saying? Like you giving people a cause, in particular officers, to now go at you because you didn't started something. You get what I'm saying? And the way that media would get flipped is now the officers is going after the protesters when they're peaceful. But when in actuality, somebody threw a bottle at their head. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just stuff like that. So, shout out to her for that, man.
Well, we're going to turn the page a little bit, not to be so, so final on it, but we got to turn the page to another problem that's going on that we wanted to update. The Ahmaud Arbery case, it was a third suspect that was apprehended, or the one that filmed the actual struggle, and he was, following behind them in his own vehicle, and he videotaped it. So he was arrested.
Roddy
you guys
Bryan.
heard about that? Yeah, Roddy Bryan. William Roddy Bryan. So you guys, you heard you want to take that, Dre?
Yeah, I got an issue with Roddy. Pause. But there was a report that like he was working on his front lawn, and he saw Ahmaud Arbery running by, and he seen a pickup truck chasing him. So he got in his car and chased and went along with it, just to video record it. And it's like,
now you got yourself in a
you just got arrested for felony murder now for not minding your business,
right? And an attempt to commit, imprisonment. That's the one thing out of all three of them. They just got other two got felony murder, but he was the one that got also.
And the thing is, if you knew something was off with this in February, why is this just coming out in May? Like, so you held on to that video footage for 2.5, 3 months to prove what? Just from working on your lawn. It's like you put yourself in the midst of all this for no reason.
That's when keeping it real was wrong, man.
Yeah. So whereas though now they're making stuff up saying that it was burglaries in the neighborhood,
and they was trying to link to him.
And the police said this was never reported.
Right.
So y'all making up all these lies. Well, the father and the son was making up all these lies, and now you're tied into it just because you decided to follow them and record it.
Real quick, it was something on
and that's a law that's in Georgia now, whereas though it's like you don't have to be involved in it to be involved in it. And by him video recording and following them, he became part of the problem also.
Cool. I wanted to just chime in. Now he changed his whole tune and said he don't even know the two guys.
Yeah, he don't know them.
Yeah, he don't know the two guys.
Supposedly.
But you're right. Allegedly,
he don't know.
Because in the police report they mention him by name. They call him Roddy.
So
you know what I'm saying? Like, so they say in the police report they.
How did he start following? It was they got the neighborhood got a whole group text or something like that. Right?
Apparently it was a string of a bunch of nonsense, and he saw them, and he's saying he don't know them now. They're not acquaintances, and the whole time they call him out by name. And apparently they got a whole group. Each neighborhood, a bunch of neighborhoods got groups, but it's crazy, man.
I mean, as far as I'm concerned, he was
himself, and his lawyer ain't helping him out.
Shit, I mean, as far as I'm concerned, it looked like he trapped him where he was at.
Now this is black versus white. Yeah. In this case, this is black versus white. Right. It was just a black man running in a white neighborhood jogging.
And that's why he got that extra charge, because they trying to say, well, the GBI, Georgia Bureau of Investigation, they was saying that he was attempting to commit, false imprisonment. They think he was planning on, they were going to grab the guy and kidnap him.
Yeah, like.
They know what's going on. They did a thorough investigation, and that's what came out, and that's why he got this extra charge.
Well, again, it is going to go back to what you could prove in court, of course. Right. But just thinking logically, I can't imagine he was just following him just the film. Like he wasn't doing it just to be a video. You know what I'm saying? Like you were being someone who was helping in the effort of whatever was going on, and it wasn't just for you to capture so you could show later to police or whomever and keep it for yourself as a highlight tape. I don't know what the fuck he was doing, but it wasn't just for him to film. So
yeah, man. Can you imagine going outside working on your lawn and then being in this like?
I just think people don't think about that kind of stuff. He just was. A lot of people, how many times we see fights down the street and we go look. You know what I mean? We never know what any decision that we make can change the rest of our life.
Shit, you still go look? I don't do that.
I mean, I know. I'm just saying, like in the past, I personally do. I'm cool. I'm just talking about. That's common.
My whole issue with this whole situation is that it happened in February. That's my whole issue. It happened in February. This just came out of May.
Mm-hmm.
They hiding something. Mm-hmm. They guilty by time to me.
You got recruits.
This by time.
Accused DAs.
Until the masses see it.
That's
why social media.
You got two DAs that had to recuse because of interest in the suspect.
And changing and offering and putting the narrative out there. You should have nothing to say. You recuse yourself.
I know this is a lot going on with what's going on now, but I don't want people to really forget about Ahmaud Arbery either. Don't forget about that case either.
Because every time it's just somebody new.
Case, man. A lot of times it's just rare that it happened 2 times in 1 month.
It's funny. It's funny you said that because I literally that's what I was sitting over here thinking. I'm just like, damn, man. And I don't want to say it like this, but it's kind of like you almost forgot and put Ahmaud Arbery situation on the back burner compared to what's going on now.
But I think what's going on now is just all that, like you said.
Yeah, but like I said, I don't want to say it because I kind of feel bad saying it, but at the same time, it is. Mm-hmm. But in the day and the age that we live in, like the way media goes, it's always like something happening.
It's always something new.
So you know what I'm saying? You kind of forget about it,
No, we forgot about coronavirus.
No, you didn't.
I mean, we didn't forget about it, but it's just like
it's definitely not in the news right now.
Who the fuck is thinking about it?
It's just not the top thing in the news.
Yeah, it's not the top thing, but it's just like that ain't even what people thinking about right now.
Like you said, niggas ain't worried about that right now, like
at all.
Like it's just like two black men, one killed by the cops, one killed by racist white people. what's the common denominator though? Is it like
Race.
They always want to talk about this black on black crime stuff. Like we're around our race the most. Of course, like whites kill whites the most. Also, Asians kill Asians the most. It goes like that. Like I understand that's another problem that we got to fix in our community, but.
That still don't.
They kill us and we don't get no justice.
What you're saying is that still should neglect that part.
Like it's just like they kill us, we don't get no justice. Like these cops is keeping their job. They going. Some of them getting found not guilty. Some of them not getting. Some of them still cops. This cop had 17 complaints before this happened.
Yeah,
he was involved in killing somebody before.
Can you imagine having 17 complaints at work?
Look though. All of them was closed with no discipline. Like out of 17, I think like 15 was closed with no discipline.
Yeah, that would. Yeah,
like
that's crazy.
What the fuck? Why are you still on the street being able to interact with people?
Because
that alone, like that's why I'm saying shit like that, yeah, the archetypes might not say one thing, but his record say something else, man. Like,
I mean, just to even take a step further with you with that is just. Even if they didn't fire him, you know, there's other departments, there's other stuff to get you off the street. You know what I'm saying? So
you gotta get on the desk.
Crazy, man.
I want to know who the captain is.
We need Hiller, man. That's why I versus.
How you get through 17 complaints?
We need Hiller. We need Kurt Franklin.
How you get through 17 complaints?
Oh yeah, it's a
versus going on right now.
What time is it now? 6:29 on Sunday.
We missed it.
Did I miss Stomp?
I was about to say that's the only thing I was going in for.
Who is it?
Oh, and it joined. Revolution.
Revolution.
That always made me think of any given Sunday.
Yeah, man, we definitely
got my man Plies versus Fred Hammond.
Plies. They do look just alike too. They look just alike, man. So what?
Kurt needs a fitted. Just like Plies.
Take your big league home and don't come back.
Bye.
That's the Henny.
What
real.
What about the other verses that we had recently? Y'all saw the one? Did y'all hear about it? Or see
the 112.
I missed that one.
No. Can we like give? That's like the back burner John. Can we give like the proper do it is deserved?
Beanie Man? I messed up on that one, guy.
Yo, I ain't gonna hold you. I need to know who the DJ was.
If y'all don't realize, we've been gone for 2 weeks, so we back at it right now. So that's why we talking about Beanie Man.
Listen. I felt like I was in the basement, like, hey, getting a wall,
sweaty wall, dollar party, baby, sweaty wall, dollar party, like. Done been through those. Like, yo,
I'm mad I missed it. You did see
whoever the DJ was in the beginning, though.
Yo, he had it
crazy.
Rolling. Like,
I gotta watch it on YouTube.
Crazy.
You got to, bro.
I felt like I was in Chrome.
I walked in and walked back out.
Like, I was at Chrome.
I walked in and walked back out, unfortunately, man.
Oh, the club?
Yeah, it's really not my thing.
Was
man.
it when they was
like,
getting? I saw the police was out there.
Really
I think it was dope. I think it was dope that
it really
they
is my
shot
thing.
it together. They was actually together in one room.
Yeah.
Where like you don't gotta worry about the Wi-Fi and all that.
I think, to that, I think what like Teddy Riley was trying to do and everybody else and shit, because you get that connection once you link up with somebody else, and I don't know because I ain't an audio guy, but it's a difference. You could imagine. But if that was the case, if they was together like that, Teddy Riley could have pulled off his performance that he was trying to do. You know what I'm saying?
No issue at all with the connection. They was in one room. They was together. They was with a couple people, and the cops actually came in because they heard the loud music. They actually thought it was a party.
Yeah,
Jamaican people get along a good
they
show. They always
Jamaican
people. Busta Rhymes, Busta Rhymes got some of the best.
It stayed on live the whole time while the cops was in there. Beanie Man like, yo, we not doing this right now. Like.
The cops were about
He said, look, we got half the world watching right now.
You want to be that guy?
You want to be that guy? He said, do you want to be that guy? He said, okay, you don't want to be that guy. So just do what you guys do.
I did see that
He
part.
said, move to the side, do what you guys do. He said, we're going to keep this show rolling. I'm like, oh, yeah, it's lit.
Right.
I said, it's lit.
He got pulled.
Yeah, he got pulled.
He put on for all the niggas with guts, man. He was out there getting busy, man.
He's out there looking crazy.
He be battling the Beanie Man. The girl
was like this. Crazy. He turned to the side and nigga was like.
But Bounty Killer was rolling.
He was looking like the 2015 Gucci.
Bounty Killer was rolling.
Crazy.
Like they
both was rolling. It was when they first announced it, there was gonna be them two. It's like it's no one won't watch this, but I wound up watching it. I wound up tuning in, man.
I definitely feel like
it was definitely entertaining. It was entertaining.
Yeah, I was in Moonlight.
It was
that
entertaining.
Night.
That was the most entertaining.
I was in Moonlight waiting on my.
That was the most entertaining
bag.
versus I watched. Entertaining one I watched.
Yeah.
And I wasn't really worried about the songs, even though they bring me back to like my early teen days, the basement parties,
size 40 jeans,
size 40 jeans,
and 60 jerseys too big, 4X
carrying on swingman.
Right. Man, I know this is disrespectful to a lot of
urban expression parties, carrying 48 with no cable,
throw
like
your
X's up. You know what I'm saying? I was in that time.
Shout out Keep Up the Block.
I know Keep Up the Block.
That nigga was crazy.
Quite said two.
I used to piss me off. I used to hate that boy. I used to be looking at him like, man,
Keep Up the Block, yo.
That's somebody new.
Yeah, right.
Keep Up the Block.
Yeah, man.
No, I understand now.
Man.
Keep Up the Block.
It's disrespectful to a lot of Caribbean people because they keep saying, like, I used to hear all the time how fake he is, but I'd have been more excited to hear Sean Paul. Man, Sean Paul was popping back in high school.
Had a couple Johns.
I would have Sean Paul. I would have tuned in. Sean Paul, I'm there.
If the light came on,
Yo.
you had.
I'm all for the show. My bad. Too high.
Right. You always feel the light skin,
This nigga put his hips into it.
Right, you saw Wayne was drawing.
You might as well duddy mine.
All right, you drolling now. You drolling.
D-Wade about to duddy mine.
Don't cut that part out.
Thunderclap.
Don't say that shit, because when Yen came on,
You're about to find the river.
Bundy was. That was the shit. Y'all wildin'.
No, but that was a good versus. That was a good versus. I don't know too much gospel, so.
You know 112 Jagged Edge?
You know, I grew up in church. I know all the guys.
I
was busy.
I
seen some of it. I seen some of 112 Jagged Edge. I mean, it was cool. Jagged Edge. Of course, the connection was iffy.
Who did y'all have? Because
I had 112 from the rip.
From the rip, you had 112.
But yo, I
who you
forgot
had?
about a lot of Jagged Edge.
AJ.
I forgot about a lot of
right.
Yo, Jagged Edge.
Who did you have though?
I think
Jagged
Edge
going into it.
112 up.
Honestly, didn't pay that John.
I'm gonna
A
tell you
lot of people
this.
had Jagged Edge, but I thought 112 was going to win because they got more up tempo and they have a lot more features.
I think it was more
quantity. I took 112 because they got more.
Too.
They've got more variety.
Yeah,
they got R&B drums. They got a couple of hip hop drums.
Yeah,
they featured on some people's drums. So I had 112, but
Jagged Edge is too. They got hip hop.
Yo, Jagged Edge. They brung tracks out that I even forgot they had. I'm like,
Jagged Edge was there. I had Jagged Edge winning that one.
Jagged Edge was like
close.
They was there. It was neck and neck. It was definitely neck and neck.
Yeah.
But I mean, I had 112.
Whoa.
Just for the variety, the number ones, and then Slim poured the Grammy out. And I'm Jagged Edge ain't got no Grammy.
Well, I was out, but also I heard it was on audio problems too. I heard they had some audio problems.
Jagged Edge, yeah.
But
I feel like
I saw most of the first half, but I felt like 112 was winning the first half.
I feel like with a lot of the verses though, it's always that little connection issue, and it's
well, Jagged Edge started off slow. I think they
they came more strong.
112 had a run. They was playing like they played anywhere.
Yeah,
then what the fuck? What else they played?
When they played that Peaches and Cream. Because that was it.
You love that song. I think you wore that shit to your prom.
I did. I wore Pieces of Cream to my prime.
That nigga said, 112 came out that shit.
I wore Pieces of Cream to the prom, man. You fucking me up right there. I definitely did. But that's a way though. He's fucking Chris Tucker with the fucking
don't hate, man. My shit was fire, man.
No,
my shit was fire, man.
Flash is a lizard from Antarctica.
Lizard on.
Yeah, man. Rest in peace, Jaquay, man.
Rest in peace, Jaquay, for sure.
Yeah, man.
She made you drink?
No, that was
the date.
Yeah, where was we at?
We was about to go to
Peaches and Cream, nigga.
Yeah, we was on Peaches and Cream.
That's what I mean. Talking about where was he at?
What I mean?
I had that on prom, man.
I had Pieces of Cream on too, but that's funny as shit.
I was chilling though.
But look, man, how about look, man, let's man, fuck these proms.
Thank you.
Cause I hate it. I don't think I took my prom serious. I don't like the way I was.
Yeah, breed.
I was just about to say.
I had braids. I took a Chrysler.
Yeah,
I was like, I'm so
disappointed.
Yeah, I had it.
How many proms
Yeah,
y'all went on?
The hood
I only went on
Bentley.
one. I know you went on like 9.
Shit, I only went on
I
one.
went on 3.
My mom hated on me
4
though.
proms.
Yeah, we went on Girls High Prom though. Girls High Prom. We went on Girls High Prom.
That's the prom to do.
One
That's
of
the prom to go.
One of my mom's friends' daughters wanted me to go on her prom when I was in 9th grade. Man, my mom said no. She hated on me like shit. I just knew I was gonna be the man
She hated
going
on you like
a
I hated
senior
on you in
prom.
9th grade?
We ain't gonna talk about that.
It was me, AJ, and Strong. We went on Girls High Prom.
That was, I ain't never gonna forget that.
Oh man.
So listen, man. Let me since y'all talking about hating on me.
What's up?
What?
Say you got. Would you be
Yo, hold on. Can I give you your credit, bro?
For what?
That was a good job.
What?
That was a good segue, bro. That was a good job. Yeah, you said, speaking of haters, I know what you about to go to.
Oh, well, I got.
Well, I like it then.
All right, let's get
Let
right
them
to
rock.
it.
Let them rock.
We have our what's your opinion on? That's
Right.
our question that we ask, weekly for, and this is the one we chose.
Right.
What's your opinion on? It's coming from AbNation @AbNation on Instagram, and she says,
Shout out to Ed.
Right.
Shout out to Nation.
Shout out. She wants to ask, can you be friends with someone who doesn't support you or your business?
Yeah.
Dre, you wanna go?
Lane's Carpet Cleaning is a family-owned business emphasizing customer satisfaction. We focus on delivering the best carpet cleaning and upholstery service experience one can find. Our top-notch cleaning service can help extend the life of your furnishings. Contact Lane's Carpet Cleaning for more info. You won't be disappointed. That's Lane's Carpet Cleaning, Lane's _carpet _cleaning on Instagram. Good Space Studio, which provides a photography space to rent for photographers and creators alike, promoting good creations, good vibes. Follow at Good Space Studio PHL on IG and Facebook. That's Good Space Studio PHL on Instagram and Facebook. 2 business owners, I'm gonna let y'all
We
start.
still be friends. I mean, I feel like as a business owner, myself,
That's some hate.
you start off and you start off with yourself. You don't worry about nobody else. You worry about yourself from the beginning. Now, the people that support you from the beginning, they come along for the ride. The people that don't, it's cool. Don't worry.
Right.
If you got enough confidence in yourself to do what you want to do what you set out for, then they're gonna try to come at the end. But I'm cool.
It'll come.
It's cool. It's gonna come for you.
If
you're doing it for yourself, you're not doing it for them. You know what I'm saying? So
Right.
I'm gonna still be cool with you. It don't matter. But it's for me though. This is for me.
Right.
This is for me. This is for my family. This is for my kids. Like what I got going on now is for me to pass this on to my kids, to where as though they can work for themselves or they can work somewhere else too, like I do, and then still have this for themselves.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like I'm doing this. I'm trying to plant a seed so this could grow forever.
Absolutely.
And this is what I'm doing. But I still be cool. Of course, I'm not going. You're not disloyal because you don't
See the
bang
video?
with what I'm doing. You know what I'm saying?
What's on your shirt?
But I feel like everybody can support.
What's on your shirt?
My last name.
You want to flex with them real quick, man? Because you got.
Shirt.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, there go the
Lane's
business
Carpet
right
Cleaning.
there. Oh.
You know what I'm saying? This is what I'm doing, and I'm doing this for my kids. You know what I'm saying? And not even for my kids, but even my customers. Like I do this honestly to see the satisfaction on my customers' faces, but I'm also doing this, to pass this on generation to generation too. Like I want this to go on forever.
That's something about small businesses too. They
And that's what a lot of small business. That's what a lot of small businesses.
Satisfaction.
At the end of the day, like they want this passed on to generation to the people that's looking up to them. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if people are looking up to me or not. I don't know that personally. But I'm pretty sure it's somebody probably out there watching, like,
Yeah, inspiration. You always are.
You know what I'm saying? It's always somebody watching. You know what
Well,
I'm
I
saying?
personally feel like, bro, I don't have my own business right now, but like from the outside.
But you did. Let me just clarify that we were talking in a group chat. You was talking about starting your own thing too, going out as an entrepreneur on something new. So, what do you think about that?
I mean,
From that
yeah,
aspect.
I feel like my direct friends will support me, but like you said, I feel like the majority they won't start until I start
So you pop
or whatever. But my thing is support comes in all ways. So if I can't like me personally, Drake clean carpets, right? I don't have carpets, but I can post my man shit. I can spread it out there. He cleaned my car. I got him to clean my car interior. Like, we're gonna make this shit work sometime. You do the picture thing. My family use you for my grandma party. You get what I'm saying? Like, I'm gonna support my friends. I post y'all. My bad, I hit the mic. I post y'all stuff like support. It don't always got to be spending money. Of course, y'all would like it to be, of course, but it don't always got to be that something as simple as a repost. Like, but you got people like you will scroll down, they'll like a picture of some bullshit. They won't repost your business. Like they won't repost something that's positive. Like they will post something that's negative, something like that. So I feel like I won't say can't be friends, but I feel like if I'm doing something and I consider you like a close friend and you don't support in no type way, how can I play you close like that? Like it's free. Right. Support is free, bro. It's free. Like I got both of y'all on my stories on here. Like anytime somebody click on my Instagram,
it's nothing to do with reposts, man. It's nothing to do with reposts. Yo, check out my man. This and that. He doing this. He doing that. It's easy. It's free. Like it's all in the palm of your hands. Everything that you want to do is in the palm of your hands. It's on your phone.
And to show how you are, because you should want to do that. Like you should, because you would expect the same. You want treat people. We've been learning that since we was young.
Every customer that I had came from this. I'm pretty sure every customer you might have had, right? It came from this, or came from your phone. You might have said something, and then somebody else said something. Somebody else said something. Like it's basically word of mouth with a lot of things, man. And social media is a big help with everything. Before I'm
gonna let you finish it. I'm gonna let Wade finish it up because he deserves. I like the same. Let me say, I was about to say some crazy shit.
I know you was.
But anyway, man, I think that, like you were saying, AJ, you can be friends with someone who doesn't support your business, but I think somewhere in my subconscious, if I own a business and you notice the people that support you and the people somebody that don't support you, maybe you might fuck with them harder than you might. They might be good friends to you. This is like some of my subconscious. If somebody don't support me back, I might just log it and just be like, oh, all right, maybe we're not as tight as I thought.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, and still be cool, but I understand that we ain't there where I might have thought. And that's okay. And that's totally okay.
Right. Yeah, it's not
you know
beef.
What I'm saying?
It's
right.
Not a beef.
It's not a beef.
Right. But at the same time, if I hold you dear and you don't support what I got going on, then maybe I don't need to hold you as you know what I mean, as dear, like you said.
Accordingly, bro. Like.
And so that's basically the only point I really wanted to get with it. You can still be friends, but at the same time, for me, I just log shit. You know what I'm saying? And so I'm gonna let you, finish it off, bro.
Well, I got experience on both sides of this. I got experience as, the actual owner, and I got experience as an actual customer. So as far as being like an owner, I have my photography business and I also have my studio business. Excuse me. Shout out to my man Ro, B Abstract, my partner at Good Space Studio. PJ. But when it comes to my personal photography, I don't take offense to people who don't book me as far as friends as a photographer. At the end of the day, it really is a business. Excuse me, and I like to look at it in the same way that I look at other businesses. Sometimes we all shop around for the best deal. But you just got to understand that at the same time, if you come to me and I'm giving you a price, then it's for what I'm trying to convey to you as my professionalism and what is the quality of my work. So you can say that I may be too much and, you may find somebody cheaper, but I can look at the work sometimes and be like, that's not good quality. You know what I'm saying? And that's all fine. What your budget is, what your budget, and I'm not going to bitch and moan about that. I actually had a friend though who came to me one time and was like, I wanted to get you to do the photography, but I thought you cost more than that. She asked me my price, but I told her my price, and she was like, I thought you was way more than that. Now, in that regard, it's like, if we cool, I don't see why you wouldn't check with me first, because I am a photographer. At least ask what my price is. Right. You know what I mean? Before you go somewhere else and compare. rather than to be like, he may be too much. Let me just try to somebody else. So in that regard, I think you should try to support your friends in that way, especially if you need that type of service and you just want to do a comparison. So I think you should try to support your friends. Cool. As a consumer, though, I am very big on quality. I support black businesses. I'm cool with that, but I support quality black businesses, and I've actually posted that before, and I feel the same way with people with me. So when it comes to me as a friend, I actually would rather you support me because you like my work than to be like, yo, that's my man, I'm just gonna do it on the GP. I've had homies do that and just be like, well, no, you my man, like I don't gotta see you work, and I'm like, nah, I want to send you some stuff so you know exactly what you're gonna get. Like, choose me. You know what I'm saying? Like, choose me because you like my work. You know what I mean? Not just because I'm your man, because that's not a good reason. Like, at the end of the day, you spending your money. You know what I'm saying? So I look at it the same way when I go to my friends with certain businesses and shit like that. So I can go to you. I can, like you said, put out there like you do this and you know you do that. Whatever your field is of expertise, and people can make their decision to do it. Now, if you're selling hats, and it's like a crazy fucking hat, and I don't wear that hat, I'm not buying that hat because you my man. There's no use for me for that. I'm not just giving money out. You know what I'm saying? But if I know somebody who wears those type of hats, then I'm like, yo, my man makes these hats. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's how I support you, and that's the different ways.
You don't want the product?
I could kind of like semi-disagree on that, because you could necessarily like say, say I sold the hat, you could buy it and give it away. That's
what I was gonna say. Like,
you know what I'm saying? Like, so
just
like,
give
I get what you're saying about wasting money, but I feel like supporting your friend is worth more.
So, for that matter, what I would do is, me personally, I'd rather just donate money to you in any type of way.
Yeah, that's cool, but we ain't introduced that.
No, and I get that too. But what I'm saying is, I'd rather make a donation towards.
Make a donation instead of taking a product.
Then taking a product, and I'm and
you ain't really fucking with.
I'm not that person. Like, I'm not gonna buy that from you and just be like, oh, I copped this from such and such. You know what I'm saying? And show it, because that's not me being authentic. Like, I like to be an authentic ass nigga. You know what I'm saying? Like, if I know I'm not gonna wear the hat, I'm not gonna wear the hat. But I support you in what you're doing. You know what I'm saying? I got another homie who has a line, but it's just like, what are you doing with this line? And I told him straight up. I was honest with him. I was like, I'm not gonna buy anything from you unless you could tell me like what you're doing this for. It's too many people out here, I feel like, that are just trying to like make money, and I'm not just saying like this is for him, but I'm like, what does your brand stand for? You know what I'm saying? Like, the brands I buy from, like, I know what they stand for. I know why I'm buying it. It's on sale or something, whatever the case is. You know what I'm saying? But it's just like, why am I wearing this across my chest and I don't know what it stands for? We all got Lance Carpet Cleaning on our shirts. I've used your services before, so I scan, and I know what your services stand for, so I could wear this and feel comfortable. But if I didn't really like your services and you still my man, I'm not going. You get what I'm saying? Right.
Like, I super stand by Dre service. I seen you turn on black carpet.
And I've seen
goodness. The water, you pouring the water out like coffee.
Like carpet and cement.
I was gonna bring it up, but I wanted to bring up, when Wade was talking about the quality of work, like what Rel do. What Rel do right now on Instagram is at Be Abstract. What he do is he do a before, the editing process, on what he actually used to do it, and then he posts the finishing pic. And I think that's great as far as seeing as you might choose somebody that's cheaper, but you're not going to get that actual quality. And for Rel to actually sharing that quality, I think it's great. Like, I share what I do.
Being transparent. You guys are both transparent.
Exactly.
All of you.
And I share what I do. When I'm cleaning carpets, I might go on Instagram Live sometimes while I'm actually doing the carpet. Or, I'll take a before and after picture or something like that. Like I said, the black carpet and then that turned pink.
Yes.
But I actually...
Cement. Cement the carpet.
Yes,
That's
I'm sorry, I don't know who that person was.
I was about to say, don't know.
I said they should have fucking got
But sometimes what I do is
Don't want to put them out there like that.
just so I can get a picture of what it used to look like and what it looked like now, just to show the people the quality.
Process and the
Once
process.
you put that quality up, especially on social media, that could take off wherever.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
That's where the little small
and that's what it's all about. You want to put the quality out. It's not about making money. It's about putting out quality.
And it's
You're putting out quality that's really, people need this.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
and Ben needed it. It's probably people that Ben needed it.
You know what I'm saying?
And it's like
And then
it's funny you say that shit because it's like even within the last couple of weeks, I always say I need to post like before and after photos, but people sometimes they question my price, and it's just like I don't go back and forth. I don't have to toggle with people because I know I'm confident in the work that I do. I stand on what I do, but it's just like even some of them before and after, I was like, I'm gonna start posting some of them joints because some people really don't realize where
people don't.
You know what I'm saying? Like the effort.
A lot of people don't respect. They don't see.
But they don't respect it. But also the thing is they don't understand it either. And that's and I don't mind explaining it to people, but people really don't understand it sometimes when they talk about them prices.
It's one time you might need to post step for step, and then people will be like, "Damn, I see why."
Well,
whatever it is.
Well, that's what I was saying. Like I'll post that, and it's funny because somebody just asked me the other day. She sent me these photos of the inspo photo of what she was doing, and she had a before and an after of somebody else's photo, and she was like, "I need this done," and I'm like, "All right, I could do it." She was like, "No, can you do it? Because like I need to look like perfect," and I'm like, "One moment, please." And you know what I'm saying? I go in my backlog. You know what I'm saying? I go in my backlog and I pull some shit out before and the after, and she like, "You got the job." So you stuff like that.
Yeah, I'm lit too.
Right.
Yeah. And I knew I knew you was always about this, right? When you used to send files and you used to tell me all the time, "Yo, don't screenshot it, just save it." Like you used to always say that because it messes up the quality of the picture. Right. And when Wade first told me that, I'm like, "Oh,
I just let him live. I already knew that.
Like,
man, fuck, I'm gonna
screenshot. Said, don't screenshot the picture, just save it." Right. I said, "Oh yeah, he's serious. He's serious about it." Like, and I respect that.
So the NBA is coming back. Mm-hmm. We got a tentative date. Tentative 7/31, July 31st.
Yeah.
Everybody, but July 31st, the NBA supposed to be coming back. What do y'all think? Quick, what you think? Who wants to say it? AJ?
I think we need to. I think it's a good thing. So Brian get his ring.
You think the Lakers gonna win this year?
Yeah. I stand on it.
I think it depends on how they bring it back, man. When we talk about Dame Lillard, it's relative to what Dame Lillard quoted when he said he didn't want to play. Is that what it was? He didn't want to play if they don't have a chance. If they don't have a chance, if they don't have a reason to play, Dame Lillard doesn't want to answer it. I don't think they should come back and play like a 10-game season. Bless you. A 10-game season. I don't know why that was so funny. I don't know.
No, keep that.
No, this is gonna roll. There's no point in like. But anyway, a 10-game and they not be able to make the playoffs. Like I can understand that. Cause it's just like y'all using me as a scrimmage at this point. Like I don't even have a shot to win this championship. But also he's an employee. First and foremost, he's an employee of someone's team. So I'm paying you this amount of money to play. If you're healthy, you need to play. That's my take on it.
I feel like if he was to sit, his organization would make a big deal of it. So
make sure they hear you. Go ahead.
How are we making a big deal of it? I just don't feel like they would make a big deal of it. That's just me. I don't want to get too much into it, but like he said, if they don't have a fair shot to make it, I don't see the big deal. That's just me.
I feel a little bit different. I believe that each player should play for the next man. And I feel like you should play as many games and give you the total effort that you would give at any time. I feel like you should play as many games as you can play, as many minutes as you can play. Unless the organization rush you. If they do and use nothing that's out of your control, you might secretly be like, I could use a rest. But at the same time, if they take it out of your hands, cool. But if it's something that you have control of and you can play, you decide not to, or you just say that I'm not gonna be there for the next man, because I feel like that's how I would look at it as a teammate. From hearing what Damian Lillard is saying, if I'm fucking the 12th man, or what they keep 15 now, they keep 15 now, right?
Yeah.
If I'm the 13th man, and I'm just like, I just think that's corny. I'm struggling to make the team.
You 13, bro. You 13 man. You still on the team. That's just bottom line.
But that's what I'm saying. I just feel like as the leader, I would look at Damian Lillard. He's the top leader. CJ McCollum, he's next. But at the same time, Damian Lillard is the man. Everybody looks at he's the alpha male. He's the one that you look at his lead.
Right.
And I feel like he should be setting a tone that I'm going to play as many games. And, I got the Supermax. What else could I want? I got the top for my slot. I know it's already pretty much out there for everybody. It's already a weighted scale, whatever it is, slotted for your years in service and everything. But at the same time, you have that. Right. So you should play as much as you can for the next man. Be it Nurkic or fucking CJ McCollum. Just play and get the game over with, and then you can rest. Who are you to just sit here and say, "Oh, I'm not gonna play"? And you fucking 4 games out. You 4 games out. It don't mean that you could go ahead and win fucking 3 games, and the next team in 8th, whatever the chances may be of it happening, could lose 2 games straight or 3 games straight, and you can be right there.
Bigger picture though. Bigger picture.
I'm just saying all of that shit should mean something.
But he said if we don't have a shot. So you saying that?
How will you know that if you don't play?
Bigger picture is you play because this
when would you know
the
that?
NBA
like it's like almost like these dudes can't have a voice or anything they say.
It's not about that. It's what they say because you might not know if you have a chance until it's 2 games left, and now you vying for this other team for the last playoff spot.
So you 4 games out. So you 4 games out, and he don't want to play. And let's just say they win 2 or 3 games straight.
Wait. Let's stop. Because we don't know how many games they're going. Let's do like 10 games. Let's say
scenario.
They were saying it's gonna be like 13 games or something.
13 games.
Scenario. Let's say they do 10 to 13 games. You 4 games out. You play.
Y'all do understand? He said if that's the
case,
I'm
saying you
play. But how will you know?
But listen,
in this case you play.
But
right?
if that's the case, he said he's playing.
Then why would he say whatever he's saying? Because I'm like, how will you know?
Man, he's allowed to say shit.
But he don't know though. The thing is,
he's saying both sides of the fence. Like right now,
the thing is, when the NBA officially announced something, then you can speak. You can't speak. They don't know nothing yet.
Why can't he?
But they do know that they're trying to bring shit back.
How many of us said what we going to do and what we not going to do when our job shut down because of Corona? How many of us said what we going to do or what we not going to do before our job officially had a set plan? It's the same shit for real. This just he get paid.
So you think he pump faking? You think he pump faking?
I think he gonna play for sure.
He get paid what?
I think he gonna play for
that
sure.
would be wise because I feel
think
like
because he get paid a bunch of $1 million. Like I said,
one of y'all was saying that they
said something and then he got to see.
One of y'all was saying that they may go to. One of y'all was saying that they may go to a tournament type of play. So
top 16.
Right. So what do you think of that?
But I mean, they're not top 16. They're 17.
I saw that. That's what I saw that. And in that case.
So that's what I was saying. They should do 8th and 9th seed, a best of 3, 8th and 9th seed in both conferences.
I'm with that.
I like it.
Right.
Top 7 in each conference make it. Let's do a best of 3 between the 8th and 9th. 8th and 9th. I'm not doing 6 through 10. That's just too long. It's too much.
I think those last 2 positions usually have the closest discrepancy.
So my counter
6 through 10,
6 through 8. You know what I'm saying? Like
8 or 6 and 7, or 7 and 8. Yeah, whatever.
That's what I'm saying. 7 and 8. Those
do a best of 3.
The top 6 make
it. Do a best of 3 after a little training camp.
Actually, bro.
Let's see what happens. All of August got to be all playoffs.
Honestly, Dre, I think if they're gonna be playing games, forget that best of 3 shit. Winner takes all. Like treat that shit like a game.
I like best of 3 though.
No, but you
got figure that's gonna be
playoffs.
But that's
right, and I think those.
But you still gotta have. No. I'm not saying off the freak. Like you said, they gotta come back and have a training camp.
No, yeah, training camp.
Yeah, training camp,
and then the game 7. When
maybe, I mean, however they gonna do it, but I don't think it should be no best of 3.
I raised the problem. I raised the problem of that they all need to make money. The NBA first is a business, so the The entire NBA needs to make money. So that's where all the teams are going to come back into play. You know what I'm saying? Like, you have to add something. But again, that goes back to my first point is saying, like, I could get what Damian Lillard is saying. He doesn't want to be somebody who's just like a scrimmage game. You know what I'm saying? So what time period, what amount of games do you put on it? You know what I'm saying? Like, that makes it fair to everybody.
But you won't know that until you play, and that's
point. Not the thing, though. You got to know that before you play.
What I'm saying is for Damian Lillard to say what he said, he's 4 games out with 10, 11, 13 games to play. So many things can happen. If the AFC or whoever is in right now loses 2 games straight and you win 2 games,
I get that.
We never will know until we won't know until it happens.
I think this shit is getting blown out of proportion, honestly, because I think they're honestly going to give them a chance to play, and I think he's going to play. And I think all this shit ain't going to mean nothing.
I think he
spoke his mind without thinking that a million people was going to get to it, and it's going to get blown out of proportion. Like, I can agree with that. I think that's a lot of these sports topics happen. Like, these athletes just be talking. They might be talking amongst their friends or something, and that shit get put out to the world.
Somebody get leaked their I agree with that.
Like, I know who, bro. Like, you know what I'm saying? So that's all I think. I think it's just kind of getting blown out of proportion. But end of the day, I think if they got a chance to make it, he won't play. We all want it, but like I said, Brian need to get the chip, and that's it. Like, I don't know.
Bettors want to make their bets. That's what it is.
I love to make a bet. I would love to see a halftime.
I think the only thing standing in front of Brian is the Clippers.
I need locks back though. I just need to bet on the third quarter over and all that.
Real quick before we get out of here, what was the top NBA lock night in, night out?
For me?
I mean, for us, because we got our own different shit. We bet different, we talk different, we do our things different.
NBA wise, what's our best lock?
Our best lock.
Honestly, I'm gonna have to go with Raptors second quarter.
I'm gonna have to go with Sixers third quarter over.
I'm gonna have to go with Raptors second quarter.
And I'm gonna say,
I'm like so useless in this
third quarter and third quarter over.
No, but that wasn't this year though.
Maybe not this year.
No, but it's over. Maybe I'm just talking about this year. If I had to go ever, I'm going Golden State third quarter over.
That's what I meant. Maybe I should say
ever. Yeah. Golden State third. It's either between Golden State third quarter and third quarter over, or between Chicago Blacks game 1 over. That's it. They the only 2 that was guaranteed.
It was super live. You can find them. You can find them
every. I actually agree with them too. Like Golden State third quarter over and Blackhawks over.
I'm so lost right now.
I know.
Yo, put it like this: no matter what the score of the game was, Deontay.
No, I ain't gonna hold you.
Golden State third quarter.
I ain't gonna hold you. The Phillies over used to be happening a lot too.
The third quarter was like the craziest shit.
Third quarter go crazy.
Warriors third quarter.
And the third quarter over. Because at any time Clay could go off for a fucking record quarter like he would. Steph could go off. 2 of them go off.
Fourth quarter unders. Too, because that's when everybody really try to lock down on defense in the fourth quarter.
I think the most
fourth quarter unders.
I think the craziest joint had to be Warriors third quarter because they would just beat every team by 20
and it was like for 4 years, 5 years straight.
It would beat every team by 20 points in the third.
If you just
free money,
like say you bet on that for like every night and forever,
seriously,
for that whole 5 years, you probably be up crazy.
If you bet $100 on that shit every day, like out of 82 games. No bullshit. They're probably going 75 third quarters. That's not even no exaggeration. That's how bad they was killing people in the third quarter.
And if you can get third quarter and third quarter over, that would be fucking nuts. Because when they do hit, you hit both of them 2 that little parlay together. That'd be fucking nuts, and that had ammo for you to bet every day.
We sports betting junkies, so.
That's crazy.
Yeah, we need
that man. We need to get back.
Is there anything else that we need to talk about?
I mean, we got this last thing, man. We could touch the NFL for a second, man. They got this. I'm gonna voice my opinion from the rip. I think it's the dumbest shit ever. Incentivizing draft picks and draft pick position for the NFL for a draft pick from the NFL for hiring black coaches, like sort of like the Rooney Rule. That's what they called it for the last few years. What's your thoughts on that? If y'all have any thoughts,
it's incentivized.
Basically, they was talk. It was a talk. It never was like in stone that they did it, but it was like something that was floating around out there, like the coaches and.
So wait, if they had like a black coach, then they would get more picks.
They would get not more picks, but they would get maybe a better draft position. And like so, say you covering somebody that may go in a third, but if you can move up 12 spots because you hired a black coach last year.
I don't see much coming from it, honestly.
I think it's the dumbest shit ever.
I think it's a smack in the face.
Definitely a fucking smack in the face.
Yeah, a lot of things that they try to do pertaining to the Rooney Rule is like, it's BS. It's no extra. It's no more African American coaches
or GMs
than it's been since 2002. I think 2002. That's when Mike Tomlin and Tony Dungy, I believe, was in the Super Bowl together.
Yeah.
In 2002.
Yeah. No, that was 2006. 2006. Yeah. I was in Miami for that, man. That's a whole nother story.
15 years.
Hurt my heart forever. We won the Super Bowl.
Listen, it's been 15 years, and I don't think this gonna make much of a difference. I think it's more so like an insult to the coaches that's actually trying to come up, like the Deuce Staley's and the Joey Porters and things like that. It's a wash to me. Like, it's just fake. It's just not fake news, but it's just BS news.
I just think it's funny how we kind of come full circle when we started off and we were talking about
race relations.
Yeah,
the disposition of blacks to whites. You know what I'm saying? In that regard, how we always feel like we're disadvantaged, and in this case, we're like advantaged. And I think we're all unanimous, and it's just like we don't want that advantage. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think it's just disrespectful to the game to be. And I'm not really sure. I didn't do my research on the Rooney Rule, but how you explain it right now, we could like gain draft positions because you hire a black coach. It's just like I don't really want that.
Yeah, real quick. Let me explain the Rooney Rule. The Rooney Rule was put in place like almost like an affirmative action kind of thing in sports. So whereas they had no choice but to interview a person of minority. That can be any different.
That's how I understand it.
A minority. You had to at least interview one for each coaching position, where whatever it was.
Whatever you.
Now they were, because I feel there was a lot of media attention and flack from last year. There weren't many African American coaching and GM hires. I feel like the NFL. They instituted this incentivizing. They didn't institute it. I'm sorry. Let me walk that back. They didn't incentivize it. They were talking it. It was talk of it, and I think the flack and the flack that they got back from it, they just decided.
Oh, so what you're saying isn't in place? It's just
not
something
in place. It is something that was a subject, and they were talking about doing it.
Okay.
Oh shit! I'm thinking it's in place all the time.
Right, I'm not. I always understood the Rooney Rule as you have to have some type of minority. You have to, right.
This is also they were talking about. They were floating this idea of incentivizing and giving people a higher draft position.
I'm not with that
because they interviewing or hiring of an African American or minority.
It was again. It goes back to like what we were talking about earlier. What Dre was saying earlier is like. For lack of the better term, I forgot what you said earlier. Like, we don't want to kind of like dominate the situation. We just want to be able to be equals.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? We just want to be able to be
fair.
Right. So I don't think you should have an incentive of draft picks.
Yeah. Like, my issue is like you have certain defensive coordinators that been through a couple years with certain teams and they've been dominant as coordinators. And then, like, a team will fire their head coach and go right to college and draft a coach. And it's like, you don't promote within.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, you're ready to go to college and just grab somebody.
Right. Whoever got the top offense in college.
Yeah, something like that.
Well, it's the difference between
you know what I'm saying? And it happens a lot, whereas the minorities is the coordinators. And, like Deuce Staley, he's a... assistant head coach, and he's a running back coach. But being as though he has that title of an assistant head coach, he can't get promoted to a head coach from another team. And the owners know that. So with a lot of high priority candidates, for head coaching positions that they got on their roster right now, they give them that head coach assistant title just to keep them on that team, so they can promote into a head coaching position.
That's nice. Man, this has been a crazy episode, man. Y'all, it's been sad. It's been a lot of emotions going on for me. I know personally over this episode. You know what I mean? Like I said, I had a good time. I had a somber time, and
welcome back. Welcome back to us from a 2-week hiatus.
Yeah, man. We had a
1 week. We had a 1 week break.
Right.
Was it?
Yeah,
I mean, 2 is. I'm not gonna argue. Yeah, I'm not gonna argue with you about it. But
we back though.
Every week. You know what I mean? We took off last week
on our regular time, a Sunday.
Yes.
We've been like the idea is to record on Sunday.
But I think also that had a lot to do with Insecure and the Jordan last thing.
I'm so glad we still gotta talk about that bullshit.
Yeah, we ain't talking about Insecure, right?
No, I'm sorry. Insecure is.
I love talking about Insecure. Wait, would you like to start another podcast?
No, that was a good real shit. That was a good episode. We'll talk about it next week. But that wasn't bad. That Molly episode wasn't
I think it was a big part. That part in the pool I wanted to talk about from
yeah, I know a couple of close females that was like tick the fuck off about that.
Right.
Yo, shout out Good Space Studios.
Man, shout out.
Who else? Carpet cleaning. Strike and speed for the beat. Shout out to yourself. Shout out to staying with us.
Stripes.